Hello, I'll be talking about the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a decision-making technique that identifies strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of an organization. The purpose of the SWOT analysis is to gain a competitive advantage. The SWOT analysis takes into consideration both internal and external factors to evaluate the strategic position. The strengths and weaknesses are internal to the company, while the opportunities and threats are external. This method has been used for more than 50 years and is one of the foundations of strategic planning. With the help of a SWOT analysis, an organization is able to identify things that can be improved. And in order for a SWOT analysis to be effective, a group of people should be gathered involving different departments and perhaps even customers. Different perspectives will add new nuances to the analysis. SWOT analysis must be performed periodically as things keep changing and strategies need to be reassessed. So, in order to do a SWOT analysis, most companies use a matrix or a diagram, and then they fill it after answering some questions. So, some of the questions that can be answered regarding the strengths would be, for example, what processes are successful, what are our assets, or what are our competitive advantages. Then, for the weaknesses, there's also some questions that we can have answered, such as what processes are not successful, what are the liabilities, where are we lacking assets, is our location ideal, or are there any customer complaints? Same thing for the threats and the opportunities. There are questions that we can ask to guide us in performing the SWOT analysis, such as, is the market for our product growing? Are there seasonal events that benefit us? What are the regulations in place? Are there competitors entering or leaving the market? Is consumer behavior changing? Could technology impact our business? Are there any obstacles we're facing? Then, based on these questions, I did a real world example, a SWOT analysis of Audi, the car manufacturer. And then some of the strengths I found for Audi were a strong brand image. Audi is often associated with luxury and performance, which helped the brand establish a strong presence in the premium automotive segment. Another strength would be diversity. Audi manufactures various types of vehicles, such as sports cars, SUVs, or compact. Another strength is the skilled workforce. This is one of the best assets for Audi. Uh, the highly skilled labor contributes to the reputation of high quality engineering and craftsmanship. And then also global production network. There are different factories around the world. There is one in Mexico, one in Asia, and one in Europe. And then another strength is the development of electric motors. Audi has invested in electric vehicles with the e-tron and then other successful hybrid models. This focus on sustainable mobility prepares the company for shifts in the market and shifts in regulations. Some of the weaknesses identified for Audi are the dependence on the European market. So even though there are production factories in different parts of the world, the sales are heavily concentrated in Europe, which can expose the company to regional economic changes. Then another weakness is the high production costs that are related to the advanced technology, premium materials, and highly skilled labor. These result in higher production costs, sometimes higher than the competitors. Another weakness is the market saturation. Audi faces a lot of competition from other brands such as Mercedes, BMW, or Lexus. The luxury market is becoming more and more saturated, which makes it harder for brands to differentiate themselves. Another issue I found with Audi is the consistent defects in cars. Owners of Audi vehicles have had a lot of consistent issues, such as leakage of oils, for example, or defects in the electrical components of the vehicles. The opportunities for Audi would be expanding the EV portfolio. There is more demand for electrical vehicles, and none of the direct competitors of Audi have taken the lead uh, in the segment. Then another opportunity would be more presence in growing markets. Audi can focus on expanding in growing economies such as South America or India, for example. And another opportunity for Audi would be to have a bigger portfolio. Audi can expand its portfolio by producing more types of vehicles. An example would be trucks or bikes, for example. Also, self-driving cars. It's a new segment. It's emerging of self-driving cars. Audi could be one of the first companies to invest in the market and hold the lead with the offer of luxury self-driving cars. There are also threats that Audi faces, such as the intense competition. There are a lot of competitors that, like I mentioned, Mercedes, BMW, or even Tesla, for example, which can pressure Audi into price changes. Another threat would be the change in regulations. There are more regulations related to emissions, which can mean that Audi might need a big investment in the research and development department. There's also the threat of cybersecurity risks. There are advances in technology, and vehicles are more connected every day, which means there is a bigger threat of cybersecurity related issues and potential data breaches. And then there's also the threat of supply chain disruptions. Uh, the production network is vulnerable, and like we saw during COVID-19, when there was a shortage of processors. Basically, this was a real world example of a SWOT analysis, and I will conclude my presentation by saying that SWOT analysis is, for me, a very important part of operations management. It's a topic that is taught in every management class I took, and I find it very useful when analyzing organizations.